That's all right.
Since we're pushing 7:20, it's pushing 7:30 here, I say we go ahead and start.
Let's come to
You
it.
know, those guys are running late, that's all right. So, it is 7:24 here at 4922 Rye Lane. We're gonna call the May 1st meeting in for the Hanover Disc Golf Club for 2014, call to order. We talked about extensively last month about getting more efficiency out of the club. Having pre-meetings before the meeting, committees getting together and talking about of all the things that are on the list to do, and maybe there's a bunch of stuff that ain't on the quote-unquote list to do, picking things that we think that the club needs to do, you know. We're missing a few key people tonight. I'm just wondering, and I'm going to just throw it out there, do you guys want to go into that mode tonight? We don't have a whole lot of extra people here. We can break down and talk about some of the projects that are on the projects list and any project or idea that anyone has. But, you know, I will simply say that we're a little light on people tonight, and if we wait until next month to get more into that, that would be okay too. So what do you guys think? I think we should do it. I think that we need to break down into smaller committees and decide of all the things that we've talked about in the last 6 months.
And then bring it forth to the big group.
Yes, yes.
Maybe, you know, because like, all right, well, the main group represented here I can see is the tournament committee.
We got tournament committee.
Well, that's one. It's one you have people in multiple committees.
That's true.
Yes.
Which,
So they need to,
but I still believe that it needs to happen. I don't know that it needs to happen this month.
maybe not
But
tonight.
once we get back into hopefully a situation like we had before, we have a nice big room with multiple tables, and people get there at 7
Yes.
and break in. Because like we said, I mean, you know, we all love coming to meetings. I don't think any of us want to be here till 9 o'clock tonight. You know, we want to keep that meeting, which you discussed, in that hour-ish.
Yes, hour and a half.
But it's a great idea. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I just think from a practical standpoint that tonight is not the best night to start the grand experiment of that.
Well,
So,
But at the
what
same
I'm saying
time,
is that the committees are kind of broken, and there's nothing really going on in tournament-wise right now other than monthlies that we need to talk about. So
well, doubles is
that was
moving.
my.
Doubles is
Oh, yeah,
moving.
That's
true.
right.
So,
That's
yeah.
right.
But the whole reason. But let's. I'd like to state Boz's grand view is he set up committees and chairs of those committees to call meetings outside of this meeting. If you're a chair of a committee, contact those people. We have a burgeoning email list that's becoming that's getting there. Take it one step farther. Ask the communication chairman to break up and make a committee distribution list. Send that distribution list to the committee chair. Send out an email, maybe even as a committee chair, take it upon yourself to get the phone numbers of every person in that committee and set up a text list. And text them and say, hey guys, does anybody want to get together to talk about this outside of this meeting? It's up to the chairs of these committees to make sure that these committees are doing what they're supposed to do. And I personally feel like it's not getting done.
I gave the master list to Chief.
You do, you got it right.
Well, I would think it would be more productive to do a committee meeting outside of the monthlies, because obviously if you discuss something a week or two in advance of the meeting, then it can be brought up and be up to date at the meetings.
Well, I mean, we still have a lot of subcommittee meetings and stuff like Boz and I talked the other day. We had a little meeting out on the courts.
That's not a subcommittee meeting, that's you two getting together.
But it's still a subcommittee.
What subcommittee are you and Boz on?
We were talking about, well, Boz is on every committee,
Well,
pretty much.
That's what
And
I'm
I'm on
saying.
the maintenance committee.
Okay.
And-
So am I.
Exactly.
So
And
I wasn't involved in that meeting.
no, you weren't, but this was an impromptu.
That's what I'm saying.
Meeting.
I'm saying let's make a formal subcommittee meeting.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying anything that you did is wrong.
Yeah.
But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is that I'm feeling that a lot of stuff is taking way longer to get
Sure.
done than it should be. And it's
Okay.
because the subcommittees have not taken form yet. I know you want them to.
Yes,
I want them
yes,
to too.
Yeah.
But they haven't really, I don't feel like, and I might be wrong, maybe I am.
No.
No,
I
no,
just
you're,
don't feel
you're
that
absolutely
they are.
right. You are.
They are really
Yeah,
taking
We're
hold.
gonna help everybody, and to me as the guy at the top, I'm supposed to be calling the vice president and whoever else and saying how things going. But now that we've kind of brought it all out in the open, I think it's better that we're gonna have these little meetings, because the subcommittees are gonna decide what they feel is important, you know? There's a whole lot of stuff that's important, like a kiosk or this or that, but we realistically sit down and look at our timeline, realistically sit down and look at what's urgent and what's not, and then the people will be more interested in pushing making some of these things happen, some of these cool things.
Is there any reason why these committee meetings couldn't take place at the discourse after none of this?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was
I would
hoping
think
that-
it would be
I
more
would hope
productive
that,
to
yeah.
get people to go, hey, let's play around and then we'll discuss.
Absolutely.
Committee meetings can take place anywhere the chairman would like it to, that he communicates, or anywhere everybody can agree
Absolutely.
on.
Yeah.
The whole reason that we talked about doing the committee meetings right before the main meeting was because we tried to get together. I think it all stemmed from trying to get together the tournament committee and everybody's schedules being different, and we were never able to nail down one time that we could all get together. And I think it kind of, my thought was, well, we're always at every monthly meeting, so why not meet for that first little bit before, and then,
It's a better chance of a good turnout.
That's right.
People
That's
that would
right.
be at the meetings monthly.
it was tough when we were trying to get a tournament committee going. The tournament committee, it was kind of hard.
It
nailing
takes
down
You just
everybody.
call the meeting. You just call the meeting, and whoever shows up, shows up. You know, you're right.
But you
Trying to
want-
get everybody there is hard.
You want
It's
good.
super hard.
You want a majority. And everybody doesn't have to be there. It's not. You're not going to ever
Right.
get everybody there, but you would like
A strong showing.
a strong showing.
Absolutely.
Actually,
with what Paul's
actually, I
saying, too,
disagree. You should get everybody there.
You should, but you're not going
Which is
to.
not going.
But you can communicate, whether they're actually present is not quite as important as if you only get 10 out of, or 12, or 10 out of 12 people at the meeting, then those two people need to get an email or something.
Yeah, but see,
Okay.
10 out of 12, that would be great, but right now we're getting 6 out of 12.
And that's fine
Yeah.
too. Then that's fine too. It's
And
the
if
people
that's all
are
that
there.
shows up, that's all that shows up. You make the decisions with those who's there.
That's right. And those 6 people are the ones that are dedicated like you. You know what I'm saying? That want to be there. If those are the guys that want to be
Yeah.
there, then let's use those 6 people to get done what we need to get done. And back to Carl's point, a lot of business gets done on disc on golf
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with getting together and let's play around.
And we,
Let's talk about some stuff while we play.
yeah,
The,
we-
Absolutely.
the Japanese have some, they have billion-dollar meetings on the golf
On
course.
a golf course. Absolutely. I'm serious. I'm trying to get this
$1
on board business there,
billion
buddy.
decisions get made on the golf course.
Absolutely.
The committee meetings don't need to be as formal as our monthly.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. It's just getting
It's-
everybody on the
yeah.
same page and delegating what needs to get done. You know, Boz has a grand list of what we need to do, but those lists are broken up by the committee need to get that done. You know, and that's all it is. You know, it's getting there. We're getting there.
Okay,
We're getting there.
we just got growing pains.
So
That's it.
I'm at least a bit worried that you guys are so dedicated to this to everything. It's not because of me, it's because of you guys. I know it's going to happen.
That's right.
And we had a bunch of people show up late in the year that were all excited about everything then and all this. And it's dwindled down a little bit, and that's fine.
Well, that's typical.
But when we do have that many people start kind of showing up, then the subcommittees will have projects and things ready. So these people don't come to the meeting like John G over here and sit around like a lump on a log. Well, I don't know what to do. No one asked me to do anything. I don't know what to do. And then stop coming to the meetings.
Yeah, I'm John G.
You were John G. John G was not here.
Not yet, John G.
That's the OG John G.
But no,
Or Nate.
I appreciate it.
There's
John
John
G.
G.
There's another 10 people or 15 people out there that maybe felt like, well, Jesus, really not a lot going on. I just kind of lost a little bit of interest.
Well,
And that's okay. We'll drum up interest again.
Well, I'll tell you, man. I mean, to address that point, and there's nothing you said I think you said
Yeah.
was correct. But I going with what Troy, the subject he brought to Facebook, and it was a fair subject about pin placements, and then he got on a little side subject of wanting more people at the meeting. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting 63 people at a meeting. I don't want 63 people at a meeting. So I did a lot of asking. I know a lot of people in North Carolina disc golf. I think most of you guys know that. Charlotte Disc Golf Club is the largest disc golf club in the state. They have 183 members.
They do.
Their club meetings are about
25.
15 to 20 people tops.
For us to do
I talked to
15.
Stan,
15 to
and
20 people.
I also talked to Jim.
tops. Yep.
They said 25 at the most.
Tops.
At the most.
Greenville
Every
Disc Golf.
meeting.
Greenville Disc Golf has, it's
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
right. It's, if you get this many people, you don't want you don't want the U.S. Senate in a meeting trying to get things done, man. Especially when half of those people are greenhorns. They don't have really any clue how a club or disc golf works, but they've got an idea where they want a basket placement. You know, there's nothing wrong with having a core group, because what I love is this club is that when we have a work day, we got 30 people out there.
Yep.
When we have a tournament, we've got 90 people out there. That's the way that people can support the club, by coming to the events and helping us do work.
I agree.
But as far as the meetings are concerned, we'll be so much more efficient
Well,
with a
you know,
nice 15 to 20-ish.
I felt like that was a good, and what you were saying about it dwindling down, I hope no one took it as, oh my God, people are losing interest, because it wasn't.
No.
It was just what you said, because the core of the group is kind of.
And I wanted to get core players back in it, like Deacon. When was the last time Deacon came to a meeting? Scuba Steve. When was the last time he's been?
He's never been.
All right, DP. When was the last time DP's been to a meeting?
DP was gonna be here tonight. I will just say he was
Okay.
planning on being here tonight, but he had to put his dog down.
Oh,
man. No.
So
They come and go. I mean, it does suck.
Yeah, but
losing somebody like Scott
these
Crouch.
are original members
They're
of this
they've lost
club that
interest.
I would love to see here making these decisions.
It's got nothing to do with us for them not being here. They just
Oh,
got
I
something
agree.
going on.
You're right. Scott has really been around since day one, and up until last year had the best tennis record in
Oh, I
recruiting
agree. I agree.
of anybody. And I think Scott, and I haven't actually spoken to him about this personally at all. I just figured he's probably ready for a break.
He is.
I don't know.
I've spoken to him.
I think that's what it is. And
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing
No.
personal. He's been there, done that, man.
yeah,
You know, and he just wants to, you know, same thing I did. I just wanted to kind of, you know, I had reached a point where I was tired of doing things. I love coming to these meetings. It's great. But, you know, but at a certain
it's a
point when
different
you do a
feeling
lot,
when you
you want that ability to draw back. And his girls have got a lot going on, so.
Oh, they're at that age.
Yeah,
Yes.
But that's the reason why I posted that particular
Absolutely.
post, is to get a lot of the guys that actually started the club, get them back involved.
They know we're here. They want to come.
But I want to get them involved again.
well, you got some interest.
Yeah, that definitely struck
But
a
you can
nerve.
imagine how unproductive that would be, though. A lot of people on that thread.
I mean, I asked a question, I did not expect like 50 different posts.
You should have.
I think it was like, good
Yeah,
Lord,
get
that
some
might be
We have like
58?
78 comments.
I think it was 58.
I think
That's a lot.
Henry Trainer wrote on one of the comments threads. I remember what he says, God, this is getting exhausting reading all
Man,
these
that was a double
threads.
story.
Yeah.
That was a double
Oh,
story.
well,
And
anyway.
that's his poor attempt at humor too.
Yeah.
He tries really hard and just he doesn't.
I know it was
Well,
really funny.
Henry's so dry.
We get some monster threads going.
We do, and that's great. And
Oh,
you don't
yeah,
see
it
that
is.
on any other disc golf club.
No,
today,
you don't.
man. Not to mention, I mean, you look at the Facebook pages. You look at Greenville Disc Golf Facebook. You look at Jacksonville. You look at New Bern. You look at any of these clubs. We have 3 times the amount of people on our Facebook page.
I started paying
Yeah, I
attention
know.
to that
It's
after
crazy.
you said that at the last
Great,
meeting.
yeah.
I paid attention to that, and you are dead on. dude.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
man. It's
I mean-
great, dude. Our scene is right.
It's all because of that man right there.
We can mix it up. We
It's all
can,
because of
we
this guy
can.
right here.
And people are coming to our page because we do. We talk about
Yeah.
controversial shit and we air it out. It's great. It's there. It's
Yeah.
respectful.
We're not afraid of
It's
an issue.
respectful.
We're not.
Absolutely not.
I mean, we'll hit it head on.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, the Council meeting, we have people from all over the state
Mm-hmm.
chiming in with their opinions.
You better believe it.
Because they love the council.
Well,
That's-
Trig
that shows
actually
support.
asked me, he hit me on Facebook, what time is the meeting tonight
I
and
knew
where
it
is
was
it?
coming.
Oh, I knew he wasn't coming, but still, I mean, he asked what
He
time
did.
and
He
where
posted
is
on
it?
there, he's like, I'll
So-
come.
Well, that's wonderful. And I just will cap off the conversation by saying that if you're not talking at all about this course and this sport and what we're doing, then we've lost it. We've completely lost. As long as there's a passionate conversation about what we're doing and people care, then we are doing something good. And we are moving in the right direction. So it's amazing. I don't know where it all comes from, but we got it here, whatever it is.
We have a very
For now.
passionate group here, we do.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's obvious from just the sheer amount of posts of different ideas
I do think
on
it's
that
the
one
course.
question.
It's the course and the people.
It is.
It's definitely. I mean,
We have a tremendous course. I mean, just, if you ask anyone in disc golf, they know Castle Hayne.
but equal. It's the course and the people. We have
Yeah.
some great people like you
We
said.
can have a great course and not much going on. You know, I think Richlands has a wonderful course. It's not long, but I think they've had trouble sustaining. Anyway, if anyone has anything else to add, please do, and then if not, we'll move on.
I got one quick thing.
Sure.
Just as like a new member, like when I first came, the meetings were real long, and I had no clue what was going on, and there was a lot of talk about committees that I'm not in, and stuff that maybe didn't really affect me. I feel like if we did have, subcommittee meetings before the meeting, and then each, committee brought like the most important issues instead of like kind of rants. Rants are fine, but at least there'd be less rants. There would be more like rant within your subcommittee than bring the main rant maybe to the main group.
I think you're right. I see nothing wrong with continuing having the subcommittee meeting outside of the regular meeting, but then having like a 5-minute let's get our notes together meeting before the meeting.
I
Just
feel like
5 minutes.
if we have them outside the meeting, I don't think it's going to happen though. I mean, I think it's a good idea. I think getting everyone together, like everyone's saying, or just getting 40% is going to be difficult outside of the meeting. But like everyone's already planned on going to this meeting, and the meeting's don't have to be as long because we have half of it maybe
That's
for
right.
the subcommittee. Then they can bring the most important topics up in the main meeting, and that way, like I'm in the communications, I'm not hearing all about tournaments, or whatever. Maybe stuff that might not affect me, or maybe I don't want to know, or whatever.
I hear what you're saying.
That's just my personal opinion. Obviously, I'm still new. I don't know every little facet of everything. So
Well, to make the commitment to come out once a month and be involved in all this and expend mental energy on it, I see nothing wrong with us spending a decent portion of time in the subcommittee format and then go into a shorter main meeting. And that will fluctuate, and we will find a formula that works for us. I know we will, and it'll be flexible.
I agree.
But
So,
anyone that comes out to the meetings, I mean, you're more than welcome at any subcommittee meeting.
yeah,
You don't have to be a member of that subcommittee to sit in on that meeting.
True.
I mean, you're
We
more
might-
than welcome at any subcommittee meeting.
We might want to try, we've got our email list getting together, but we might want to try using the club forum somehow. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
I wonder if
As
we're
a
ready for a discussion board.
Our discussion board.
That's a great idea. That
And
really
can you do
is.
that on Facebook? Would we do it on Facebook?
No, we'd have to do it somewhere else.
PHPV type thing.
B-bulletin or whatever.
Yeah.
And you would just make a link. Charlotte has their own discussion board on their website.
Is it totally private?
It can be. You can set the settings up to be whatever you want it to be.
Well,
I mean,
that's
obviously you would have to create a username and a password, but Charlotte has a subsect of their discussion board that is member only. Now, obviously, we would have to have somebody who was controlling it.
Well,
Basically,
we
what
already
the
have
forum
that.
is
Forum
anyway.
page on Facebook.
Yeah, we already have that.
You have to be
The forum
allowed
page on
in the-
Facebook.
No.
That's right, well, Tiny put all
No, I'm talking
members
about
on
the
it, so,
member.
you know.
Just a member
Yeah,
only.
it's still a Facebook page, so it's still linear and it's not a discussion board.
What's
And I'm talking about a discussion board that has topics, and then you get into that topic, and then you comment on those topics. And a discussion board is so much more organized
Yeah.
than Facebook.
You're right,
It's a good
you're right.
Facebook is linear.
You're right.
And if we move towards this format, I think we'd want to think real heavy about how we want to populate it with these subjects rather than let people just put subjects in.
Well, it's the members. Well, you have subcategories. You would have subcommittee. You would have your tournament threads.
Yeah.
You would have your communications committee threads. You would have I'll show it to you guys. I'll email you the forums so you can take a look at how they're organized. Now we won't be able to see their private area,
No.
but we'll be able to see the public area. And it's a great way because it's a discussion board.
Right.
It's searchable, which is one thing Facebook has a really hard time being, especially for
That is
specific
a
topics,
minus with
you know,
Facebook. You have to scroll down through
yeah,
6 months.
exactly.
To
Yeah,
find
and once you
Yeah.
get down to the bottom, your computer it's got so much information in there that it's bogging down. So I don't know that it's time for that, but I know that big clubs have their own discussion boards, and it's through a service like V-Bulletin is one of the ones,
Right.
and it can be easily implemented into the website. So,
That
but
might-
you know,
I like the multi-pronged approach. We're trying to little to this and everything.
I just don't know if there's I don't know enough people. I don't know. There's 300. There's close to 300 people on our Facebook page, or 100, almost 200 people on our Facebook page. Maybe it is. I don't know. But,
Well, would that thread be more along the lines for just the people that are kind of coming to the meeting? Not that
it
everyone
would be anything.
could
It would be
into
anything we want with it. I mean, you can have they have a good vibes. They have a good vibes subcategory, and the good vibes is just whatever you want it to be. You can talk about football, basketball, you can talk about whatever the heck you want. But there's different subcategories of where you'd have a tournament section,
Mhm.
you would have a club going ons section, and then you would have administrators, you would have admins, and if somebody were opposed to thread in the wrong one, then you can just move it. You can say, okay, this is in the wrong section, let's move this down to this. And like I said, you could have a subcategory in there that is only for members, and then the admin would check, you would create a username and a password just like any other website. And then the admin would go in and say, this person is a current club member, he has access to the private club stuff, and that's where we could hash out. We could have discussions leading up to the meeting on any number of controversial issues.
That would be,
And the only people that could read those comments and comment on those are club members. You can have a super sub one of just committee members, you know? Something to look at, for
It's
sure.
something to look at.
Something to look at.
Okay. Well, then we're gonna, thank you very much for the comment, Eve. Then, I'm gonna move down to the calendar here for the executive committee report. Third Pink is coming up on the 31st.
I have a real quick question on the calendar.
Yes.
Who do you control the calendar?
Yes, I've been doing it, yes. And I know that we need to set our doubles in, we need to fix that tonight.
I'm in the process of doing that right now. I took the old one down today. I have the new one up tomorrow.
The kiosk?
Yes, in the kiosk.
So yeah, kiosk. And let's try not to put staples in
Yeah,
the
tape.
kiosk.
Let's use
Tape.
masking tape and tape it on the back of the
White
page.
staples.
Water.
It holds it so much better.
Masking tape's the way to go. Put it on the back.
Is there any way we could get like just a thin sheet of metal and use magnets? Or would that be a?
Well, no, I mean, that would be a trick. It would.
Masking tape's so easy to use.
I've got 20 rolls of masking tape.
Just put it on the back.
Put-
Yeah, just put it on. Yeah, just post it.
So I haven't spoken to her. I know she's getting a ton of help from the PDGA,
Good.
but it is coming up here, and I guess I'll call her or email her to find out where she's at, and we might have to, send some emails out and ask for some help to help her.
I spoke to Paige Woodward in Charlotte this past weekend about propane. She is really building a lot of positive energy about this propane tournament in Charlotte. So
Okay,
we could be seeing quite a few Charlotte players.
coming down here.
Is there a pre-reg list somewhere?
For girls.
It
Well,
is.
I heard she might open
She's talking
Yeah,
about it.
if she doesn't fill with women, she's
She's
gonna
not
open it
going to
to.
fill with women. She's
Yeah.
gonna,
Oh, I
if she
agree.
gets 20 people, I will be
Yes.
ecstatic.
But she will, and she said she would only open it to club players.
That's cool.
That's fine too, but I mean, it's a
That's
fundraiser, if
fine.
you wanna raise
Why
money,
wouldn't she
you
want
wanna
it?
invite
But that's what it's
everybody.
for women, and that's why they give women the first
This
crack.
is
I wear a pink
her
shirt. I
deal.
don't care.
I was gonna wear a pink tutu myself.
Hey, we got pink shirts at work. I'll wear one of those.
No, we don't need to see that, man.
I was just wondering if there was a pre-reg list somewhere because I'd like to see how many
It's an
women are
actual
actually.
PDGA
It's
tournament.
on PJ website.
I know
It
it's
is-
for women.
Yeah.
I didn't see
It's
it on the PDGA site.
I'll
I
throw
was
it
in
in.
like 2 nights ago.
I don't know about hours, but they're on there.
It's-
When you go to that week, because it's all the same week,
Yeah,
you all the
There is a lot of
for
pink
some
on there.
reason must have missed it, because I didn't see it.
Oh, no, there is a lot of pink on that
Oh, yeah.
one weekend.
So, I'm not sure that, I guess it's a women's only tournament, which to me almost sounds, I have to feel like if you were doing a
Sexist.
charity, that you would want to get as many, you want the whole community to show up, you want to fill it up with 90 people. But I'll clarify some of that stuff with her.
It's Throw Pink is for women only. That's what it's for. It's the women's.
Yeah.
It's playing on. It's the expansion of last year's beginning of the women's global event. And what it is they try to get all the women to have a tournament in your respective area 1 week out of the year.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It's a great idea. But that's why it is. They don't want men taking all the spots. They want those spots for women. So like, Hope's got the right idea of giving the women the first crack at it, and then if it doesn't fill, to let the guys in. Because like you said, it's a fundraiser. We want to.
Yeah,
Raise money.
absolutely.
Does she have a field of 90 as a max, or?
I'm assuming. I mean, that's 5 people in every group. I wouldn't want anything more than that.
I do believe, however, that weekend, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that weekend, is that not simultaneous with the King's Cup?
No, it's 25th, 26th, the weekend prior to.
Okay, thank you.
And the May 31st, the cool thing is, I believe that's that 5th Saturday in May.
is.
So there's nothing going on. We don't have club events.
Okay,
It was
cool.
literally a perfect weekend for her to choose.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's what we had to mix up with Jay Carter. Because I offered him
That weekend.
that weekend.
Now it's in June, right? June 29th.
Right. Well, yeah, he filled it with another
Okay. So I'll that was just a reminder about the Cougar Country Monthly coming up Sunday, May 4th. So there's a lot of guys that like to support them.
And this is all, but this is playing into we want to add all this to our calendar, right?
Well, I was going to talk to Heath about that. He had that pinned post and idea.
Yeah. But the pin post takes us to our calendar.
Okay.
So we need to add those. So that's the great thing about the Google Calendar is it's a small banner.
Yeah.
So it'll be New Hanover Disc Golf Club Monthly, Cougar Country. You know what I'm saying? So you can put 4 or 5 events on one day.
Yes.
And then you just click on that link, and then that takes you to that information. So I think
like
that's what me and Heath have discussed.
I like that.
We're trying to make our calendar a catch-all. If you want to know what's going on in Southern North Carolina golf, you come to New Hanover Disc Golf Club, NewHanoverDGC.com, and you go to our calendar. And that's another thing. That's what me and he talked about. We want to raise awareness. It's classic. It happened today. Kyle Langworth is like, is doubles going on? And I want everyone here to make a conscious effort to say you don't have to ask. Go to the calendar. The calendar is right there. It's what the calendar is for. It's right there for you. You don't ever have to ask. If you want to go to the calendar. Now, if you want to say, hey, is Cougar Country having there, or is Pleasure Island having there, then that's a legit question because those guys don't have the resources that we do. But if you want to know what's going on NewHanoverDGC.com, it's on that calendar.
I almost like us almost cherry picking the kind of the courses and scenes that we like, that which would include Brunswick County.
Well, here's the whole. Well, you're right. But here's the whole beauty about Google is you can link to our calendar. Back in the day, Kinston had a Google calendar.
I know they did.
And you can link that to there, and it'll automatically populate our calendar. So that's a great thing. That's right. It's not anything to do with us. If you guys have your own calendar, link it to ours, we'll link it to yours.
I think that's and then we're working together.
Yeah.
So it was a good idea, Heath. I like what you're thinking. We'll get to that in just a moment. The insurance renewal, I got that forwarded to me today. And I spoke to Aaron Courier about a month and a half, and his sister
The person the email that I sent you, the quote that is already somebody different.
Yeah.
But her last name's Courier, his sister. But it's fine. It's the same company. And I think it was under $400. Like 380, 390.
Do I need to call? Aaron seemed to almost say I need to call him and say that give me some information.
All the information's on the policy?
Yeah, it's all there.
Write a check.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I maybe call it. I don't know if he can hook us up. I mean, the quote's right there.
Yeah, he was talking about someone that would be able to help hook us up, maybe even more.
Well, what his sister did for us, and I don't expect her to do that, man. But she waived her commission, which is like $40 or $50. But there's no need for that. I mean, we've got 40 or 50.
That's for the liability insurance.
That's our liability policy.
$1 million coverage on that.
$1 million policy. We are one of 2 clubs in this state that are required by the Parks and Rec Department to carry a liability policy. Us and Mecklenburg County.
Wow.
Charlotte. Our 2 courses and their 40 courses.
Yeah.
And we're just as insured as they are.
That's ironic.
That's
Tara Duckworth.
Is Tara Duckworth an elected official? Is she elected?
I'm pretty sure she's hired.
Probably appointed.
Unfortunately.
All of those guys moved up the chain as
people leave.
people retired. There was a point, and then I don't know if anyone even read the news 2 years ago when the guy got fired, and there was the big hubbub. So there was a big political mix-up. I mean, a big political thing with the parks. People were fired, heads rolled, and so people moved up the chain.
And that's because that guy Neil has been running for like 12, 15 years.
And see, Raleigh is the one that needs to be carrying the policy.
Rattles.
Have you ever played that little course there, Eastway? Not Eastway, but Kentwood. My God, you get down there 16, 17, and 18, that's a kill zone right there.
Rattles
On the hill right there?
Rattles not even an
Oh my
organization.
God, man, you got discs coming out. You better have your hand on the swivel.
That
Saddles,
course,
you got discs coming in from everywhere. Right
chain
there.
bangers.
if you want to play around on that course, you better get there before 9.
Oh, you better.
That's very
Because
popular.
I need to tell you.
Or wear some goalie equipment.
Yeah, you need to wear pads in there.
The hockey goalie equipment.
I'll tell you what, man,
That's
I mean,
right.
they are, I mean, that is a very dangerous sport.
Okay, so going back to the subject though, so will you're going to take it upon yourself tonight to update the calendar.
Yes.
would you do me a favor? There's a lot of areas in the calendar date of that particular event that you can put details of.
Mm-hmm.
So make the time whatever, 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, but in the comments, lay it out.
Mhm.
We sign up starts at 9:30, we tee at 10, whatever it is.
Okay.
And even if you want, you can put in there the entry fees if you like. You don't have to, obviously, but put the info in there. So when you click on that day of that event,
You get the info.
you know exactly what's going down.
That's right.
Yeah.
I had started doing that, but I hadn't gone that far with it. But
Yeah.
if it was somebody who's running a tournament, I would say so and so is running the tournament. Here's his contact.
Right, right. Yeah, just
So
put the
you
info
weren't
right
lost.
there. It's right there for them. Just really just the sign up starts at, we tee at,
Mm-hmm.
this is the event, and then whatever extra
link.
stuff that you want
Yeah.
to it. But
A link to
and the cool thing is you just create one event, and then it populates every month, however you want,
Yeah.
once a month, whatever. So you just do it one time, and it's bam.
It's so easy to
It really
do.
is. I love
And
it.
if you will email me that information, I'll put it on the calendar that I post in the kiosks.
That might be something you might just
Well, it's
be able to
there.
simply
You're on. You've got
report.
the
I mean,
calendar. As soon as he
print out.
sets it up, you can just go to the calendar. That's what I used to do. I print off our Google Calendar, and I used to handwrite. You guys
And,
remember I did
and
that?
that's what I did last month. I
Yeah,
just hand wrote everything.
You have to because you can't print it out because the print's so small.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be able to read it. So you handwrite it, and it's not fun, but I did it.
There's got to be
It
a
is
way
what
to
it
get
is,
it
you
to
know?
where
Exactly.
there's got to be a way to get it to where it's visually
It's
readable.
not. Nah, there's not.
Even
There's
if
no
it's
way.
just a title and a time.
I couldn't figure it out for sure.
Well,
Well,
I know
Kinko's a good
you're
one
wanting to
to
get the
make a
kiosk.
copy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at the
It's the size
first
of the
today,
kiosk.
so.
One thing, calendar. That's it.
That's
That's what you get.
there already. But
Oh.
I'm gonna try to have it in there tomorrow,
Okay.
if possible.